Life by Design is a show teaching designpreneurs how to clarify their brand vision and turn it into reality without losing themselves along the way. We'll explore the roadmap to a strong brand launch, plus go deep with industry insiders, subject experts, and examine the journeys of favorite fashion designers so you can apply the learnings to grow your brand while designing a life you love. I'm diving in today with Tanesha, the Mogul-Maker. This is a good one. One of the things new businesses struggle with quite a bit in the beginning is showing up consistently on social media and putting out their offering, and even sometimes figuring out what that offering should be, right? If that's something you've been wondering how to do better and more consistently, then tap into today's conversation because boy, she dropped some nuggets and we went in deep on a couple of things that are going to help you. I'm excited to dive into this episode, but before we go all the way in, I want to be sure you've heard about the label launch blueprint. Staying stuck in DIY mode has caused too many talented designers to burn out. So after decades of experience in the fashion industry, I've taken all of my brand, design, sample development, marketing, and production expertise and put together an easy to follow step-by-step roadmap so you can take the guesswork out of your launch strategy. No more going around in circles, wondering what to do when and how to do it, and not having support along the way. I want you to give yourself the gift of clarity. Head over to cmdesignagency.com/label launch blueprint for more info, and I cannot wait to connect with you. Now let's get back to it. Welcome, Tanesha, to the Life by Design podcast. Thank you for taking the time to come out and have a chat with me today.
I am so excited for this podcast, you guys. I am bursting at the seams to get it going. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This is long overdue, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have a mentor in common from quite a few years ago. Glad that we were both able to slow down and rein it in and come together today. So
Yes.
I can't wait to dive into our conversation because I know you have so much to share that's going to help up and coming, startups and businesses in every
Mm-hmm.
sector, right? With
Mm-hmm.
their marketing strategies.
Mm-hmm. I just want to say, not just only marketing strategies, just growth strategies in general. Because sometimes when we try to pigeonhole ourselves in only marketing, we leave other things on the table. And I think today is going to be a great time for us to talk about all of those things that have been placed on the table.
Absolutely. Before I get into the nitty gritty of the conversation, I want everybody to get to know you a little bit better. So, would you tell us a bit about yourself? Tell us, who is Tanesha Reed?
Oh, I feel like I'm sitting down and I want to start biting my nails, right? Because that's such a tricky question when we think about that question when it's asked in a moment of reflection. But ultimately, I am your business coach, your sales coach. Ultimately, what my passion is, what I was born and created to do, was to help businesses come to life. And really, this came about 10 years ago when I kept starting businesses after business after business. And I'm thinking to myself, it has to be more than me just having 50 million businesses and me just continuously starting them. And then once I connected with the mentor, he helped me to see that it's not that I like to start businesses, it's that I love to see businesses flourish. I love to have a hand in the business. So for me, as a business coach, a sales coach, a strategist, I get to do that on a daily basis. I am an introvert. I got to say that out loud so that way you have some grace for me over the course of this conversation.
We have that in common as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But even with that, which we're going to talk about a bit more later, but even being an introvert as a business owner, you have to just keep on showing up, don't you? Right?
And I say that you have to have thick skin too as a business owner. You have to be able to deal with the power of no or handling rejection as well as the introvert coming into play. So yeah.
Okay, so let's wind it back just a bit. What first drove you to entrepreneurship? Because it doesn't happen for everybody.
Yeah, I've been an entrepreneur though since like 13, 14. I was the person that was selling the potato chips in school. I was the
Ooh,
person that I started my own babysitting business at 15.
wow.
So it wasn't only just me. I recruited three other girls to work on my behalf, and I took $2 off of every hour that they worked. When
I
I
love
tell you, yeah, I've been it's just it's been in me since I was a young kid, and
that.
the things that I recall, because I try one thing I didn't mention was that I'm now a full-time entrepreneur. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for 5 years. I like
Oh,
to say I retired because I am now unemployable. Like you can't pay me to go back to somewhere else. Um, you know.
I
But
know.
15 years ago, I attempted entrepreneurship or full-time entrepreneurship and I failed because
Mm,
my mindset was still in the I just want to start businesses phase. And I
mm,
think that that's probably what we're going to get into is kind of because when it comes to marketing, you can't just want to have a business. It takes some understanding of the businesses that you're trying to run, some commitment, some dedication. And
okay.
15 years ago, I was just still in the starting business phase.
Mm.
So I ended up back at work relatively quickly.
Well, I think that is very common as well. I mean, so many people who are listening to this or watching it are
Hmm.
going to think of the fact that they were like you. They started
Hmm.
their little business on the side when they were a teenager,
Yeah,
right? Had their little thing a few years later that
yeah,
didn't quite pan out,
yeah.
and maybe they're at a place now where they're finally serious to get this thing off the ground. So they're seeking some more insight and
Hmm.
guidance while they're listening today
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
hear what have to say. And I think that's a wonderful thing. Absolutely. So I want to talk now more about your business. Tell
Hmm.
us about your brand, your core brand, and the clients that you serve.
Yeah, so I like to call myself a business coach and sales coach. And
Mm-hmm.
that's because I do so much more than marketing, right? Like, uh, if you only post to social media, then that's going to stagnate your growth. You're not going to see the results that these people are saying that they're getting that's making millions of dollars, right? So, as a business coach, I help to bring clarity. We help to give yourself confidence so that way you feel like you can introduce yourself, that you can go
Mm-hmm.
live. So that way you can, I guess, complete the circle to your strategy, right? So that way you can begin using social media, just overall networking events to your advantage. So one of my key offerings is a coaching program. So I strategically help entrepreneurs in any lane,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I believe that success leaves clues, that the
Oh,
framework to get to the bag shouldn't be complicated. If you have
right,
clarity, if you have commitment, if you do
right.
these key things on a consistent basis, then you can see results. So where other people are saying, "Oh, I only work with people who make six figures," no, I can. I want to help those people who are just looking to start. Because remember, that's my passion. That's what I love to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want to help someone who has come to that road in their industry and they're feeling stuck. They can't see where their next new thing is going to come from. With the business clarity that I help to provide, it leads to those new results, those that next level of change. So I guess to answer your question, I help people in all industries. I help you if you're just starting or if you're looking to make your next $1 million. I help
Mm-hmm.
you right where you are. Uh, and I use strategies that are easy to implement because what I also understand is that as an entrepreneur, you don't have a ton of time to be implementing stuff.
Oh, yeah. And I want to
Mhm.
touch on the point you made about communicating
Mm-hmm.
and actually showing up. I think that is one of the areas I work more on with on up and coming designers, which is my niche,
Hmm.
right? Than I thought I would in the beginning. I know that I'm an introvert, but I didn't really consider how challenging it is for introverts and extroverts to still show up on social media
Yes.
and
Yeah.
have that confidence to
Yes.
be, the forefront of this beautiful thing they're building that's in service to
Hmm.
a whole slew of customers that are just waiting for them to show up.
Just waiting.
So, very interesting that you say that because I don't hear people talk about that enough. It's huge. You can have all the information you want, but you gotta get over that hurdle to
Hmm.
actually put yourself out there.
Yeah, I think
So
you said something that was really powerful as well, that ultimately the people that you're marketing to are just former versions of yourself, right?
yeah,
And every day there's more former versions of yourself entering into the cycle of things. Every day there's somebody that's sitting up saying, "Oh, I want to be introduced into the world of design," or "I think I'm ready to start a business." So when
mhm,
you're thinking about this gift that God gave you, when you're coming up with the confidence to keep repeating yourself, you got to remember that you're talking to that person that's just coming into the cycle. You're the
mm,
person that's a former version of yourself. So it doesn't always mean that we got to create a new product. Some of our things that we have at the tip of our fingertips are great enough that could go out and produce a lot of money for us.
yes, and you just said something else, that repeating yourself piece.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because a lot of people think it's one and done. You put
Mm-hmm.
out the post, you talked about this aspect of your business, you talk about that, what's coming, and they think that's it. That should be enough to generate more
Mm-hmm.
interest to their page or their brand. And nah, repetition comes in way more than people are comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us are. We have to get used to it, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, what are the top three things that new businesses need to know when starting out on social media?
Oh.
Yeah.
That it's going to take time.
Mhm.
Yes, you hear people saying that they achieved success, $1 million in a short period of time.
Right.
Yes, you hear
Mm.
people saying they got 1 million followers in 30 days. I want to tell you that all good things take time.
Yes,
And
say that again, all right? Say that again.
all,
That's
all
the truth.
Mm. Especially stuff that we want to last forever, right? I
Yes,
don't
yes,
give it to me fast and quick.
right? My dad used to say, "Nothing good comes easily."
Mm,
And not easily as in, okay, you're not gonna have the grace to build and get it. I mean, that
mhm,
the grace that we have in
mhm,
life, that's a blessing, right? I'm
mhm,
talking about quick and fast, like you
mhm,
said.
mhm.
Nothing lasting comes that quick, right?
And as we're on this journey to become seven-figure earners, as we're on this journey to master our
Mm,
craft, either you're going to learn the lesson now, or you're going to learn it when you making the big bucks. And from what I can tell you, from 20 years of entrepreneurship, make
mm.
the learn the lesson early on,
Early.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
Learn the lesson early on.
Right.
Don't be so one, trust the process and know that it's going to take time. Two,
Okay.
know that mistakes are going to happen,
Okay.
and
Awesome.
understand that they are mistakes. They are not failures,
Mhm.
and pivot from your mistakes, right? And most often, when I just want to say about mistakes, because many
Mhm.
times we think that our mistakes are public. Your mistake's not public. It may
Mhm.
be between you and that person, or
Or
between
or
you
you
and
and your
behind the
coach.
scene.
Yes.
But as we're once again talking about the new people that we want to enter into our funnel, they don't care nothing about your mistake. They care that you learned from your mistake, and
Mm.
the lessons that you've learned should be in the pudding. And then I
That's
guess the last thing that I would say is that there's power in systems. That's
Ooh.
a word right there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, yes. That's why people get coaches though, because they can't see, they don't know what they don't know.
Hmm.
You only see the results of somebody's success or that how they help somebody else, but those systems behind the scenes is what makes people have a long-term lucrative business,
That's
you
a
know?
word.
Oh my goodness. You go ahead. I just took up all the space there. Go ahead and talk more
No,
about
no, I love what you just said there, because many people, they run from setting up systems in the beginning early on because it can be time consuming. But when
yeah.
you think about recurrent payments, when you think about working from anywhere, making money
Right.
in your sleep, when
Yes.
you think about digital products, where we're in the age of digital products, when you think about membership communities, all of these things where you can begin to generate profit without having a huge investment in inventory or a lot of other things can be
Mhm.
ran off of systems. Sometimes when I see new business owners and they're hiring virtual assistants to do content creation and stuff like that, I'm like, you don't even need a virtual assistant. You just need a system, Jesus. Like,
Yes,
how much money?
and to get to know yourself and your customer well enough that you could put out proper content. I agree. I
I
agree. So I know one of the ways you help budding and blossoming entrepreneurs is you help them to identify their target audience so that they can begin selling their offerings. So how do you want to dive into that a bit? How do you do that?
Yes, I believe sometimes there's coaches or YouTube or Google. It teaches you to create an avatar. And when we talk about the avatar, you're saying that it's a Black woman. She's in between the ages of 20 and 35. She's professional. Jesus, what that don't do nothing when it comes to time for me to talk to this person, for me to understand the products that this person needs. It does nothing for
Right.
me, right? And in fact, it leaves me a little self-conscious when I think about it because now I'm thinking of this person that I built in my head that I truly don't know. So I like to think of it on a deeper level. And once again, I'm just thinking of a former version of myself when I'm thinking about who my target audience is. So if I know that this person is between 20 and 35, and they're a busy professional, I'm like, oh, that must mean they got some kids. They may be either they're single or maybe newly in a relationship. Maybe they have a little help, but not much. They're trying to balance it on their own, which means that their time is really valuable to them, which means that they may need budget friendly items because they got a family to consider when they're purchasing these products. So I'm
Mhm.
just using this person that I just created 2 seconds ago as an example, but now I know from a vein of who this person is. If I create a course, it's going to be a 30-minute course. If I create a product, it's going to be less than $100 initially. I'm going to do these things because I understand the behaviors of who my target audience is. And I think that that's what's missing when many new business owners start. They got an idea of who they want to target, but they just don't know what it is, when it is, or how it is that they should give it to them.
Oh, yeah. When I have this conversation with designers, and I've said it many times online as well, it's not enough to think about those demographics. The demographics are those stats that everybody talks about: the age, where they live, how much
Mm-hmm.
they make, where they went
Mm-hmm.
to school, how many kids they have,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about what's important to them,
Mm-hmm.
what what social issues are impacting their lives,
Yes.
why that matters to them. Uh, Thinking about who they are as a person, not just, where they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so important. It's the psychographics. It's just
Mm-hmm.
understanding the person and humanizing them enough that you can actually sell to them. Ultimately, okay, if you're in business, yes, you want to make sales, but it's not just about the cold sale. It's about understanding and serving a customer. That's how I think of it. Okay, you're leaning in.
You
Go
because you're talking real heavy, you're talking real spicy. I love that
ahead.
because I don't want to have to convince anyone to purchase from me. I
Right.
don't want to have to convince you to buy. I don't want
Yes,
to have to beg you to
right.
buy. I want you
Yes.
to show up with the card in your hand and you're ready to buy. And that's because I presented the solutions.
Mhm.
I gave you everything you need to make a armed decision, right? So when you say no, I'm gonna believe your no because I know I did everything that I could do to make this thing possible. And as an introvert, that's what matters to me most. I call it subconscious selling. I'm going to answer your questions without you having to get on a call with me
Yes.
subconsciously. So that way, when we do get on, I'm not begging for a sale. I'm not convincing
Yes.
you of a sale. You are already just asking, oh, I just needed the link to know how to sign up. That's all.
Let's tighten that up now. We'll frame that up for designers who are listening, or creatives, or others who are listening.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking to your audience, you mentioned giving them the answer to the questions that they have that they don't even know they have, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when a designer is putting out content, right? Many times we talked about that the fact that sometimes the content seems to be repetitive, but
Mm-hmm.
beyond that, it's about giving the customers the answer to their questions that they have, right? Showing them the value in what you're offering
Mm-hmm.
so that they already know whether it's a hard yes or a hard no. It's going to be a hard no if you're not giving them what they need, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be a maybe, or let me find out more, let me lean in and learn more about you to see if I want to buy from you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're showing them the solution that they've been longing for that they can't find anywhere, right?
Yes, that's so powerful that you just said it that way. And when I think about kind of like the core strategies that I think or that I teach when it comes to how you just position that,
Mm,
is I kind of ask yourself to pose yourself the question is what do I want to be known for if I
mm,
didn't attach it to a product or to a service? So if
mhm.
I didn't attach this thing to the thing that I'm selling, in what ways can I still add value? In what ways am I still a solution? And once you begin to tell people the what, not the how, because the how comes in the payment form. You're gonna tell me what to do, but not how to do it. But when I start to frame this thing around what I want to be known for, people buy from people before they ever buy from a business or a brand,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So if I know what you or your business wants to be known for, I
Mhm,
can easily provide that solution. I can easily provide that value. I can easily not have to
mhm.
convince you of anything because it's what I want to be known for. Mhm.
Beautiful. So for those who are right now trying to figure out what their customer, that roadmap to their customer looks like,
Mhm.
what what can you share with them?
When I think about my customer roadmap, I feel like I got to explain what a funnel is in a sense,
Okay.
because ultimately a roadmap, a customer journey, and a customer funnel can all be equated to the same thing, right?
Mhm,
And we often hear gurus, influencers, and coaches talk about what a product funnel is. And
mhm.
ultimately, it's your customer roadmap. It's in which ways, in which levels, in which product variations can someone enter into your street.
Right, right.
And ultimately, when I think about this thing, we wanna first enter in on a free level. But then our free level takes us down toll roads. It may take us down to the airport where we can get onto a plane and go to a deeper level. Now, I'm making this part up, but when I think about a customer roadmap, it should ultimately lead me through the steps of purchasing your product.
Mm,
And sometimes the reason why I feel like this is so important is that sometimes we make the customer roadmap much harder than what it needs to be.
okay.
And,
Talk
and and what I mean when I say that is we expect the customers to do the work. We expect the
Mhm,
customers to ask the question if they get stuck. We expect our customers to fill out a form, and this is a 10-page form that requires a lot from your customer at that point. We give them 10 different options, and we expect them to pick from the options and pick the best option for themselves. So
mm,
we cloud or we muddy the waters on this customer journey. Whereas if we had a customer roadmap or AKA a customer funnel, a product funnel, we
mm,
would know how and when someone comes in. If I
mhm,
could just give you a quick example, it may mean that someone may enter in on a freebie. On a freebie could be your digital download, a checklist for designs, how to be design ready,
mm.
5 tips to something, the
Right.
next product, or even a discovery call. Schedule your call with me to decide how I can best help you. We're gonna just say those two different things. But then they shall ultimately lead you into something where someone is paying a little to touch the hem of your garment. And that little may be something that's under $100 or less, right? Because we want someone The customer journey should feel safe. The customer roadmap should feel safe, right? So we want them to feel comfortable in spending the next set of dollars with us. And that should be valuable enough to where we feel like we're sold well enough to go through your next level. And I want you guys, as you're watching this or listening to this at a later date, I want you to think about the patterns that you have when you purchase from someone, either online or just someone that you're newly introduced to. Are you ready and committed to spending that top dollar as soon as you meet that person? Or does it take you going through a funnel, you joining their email list? Many people join Fashion Nova's email list before they purchased from Fashion Nova, or maybe even Shein, because if you were like me, I said, is it real?
Oh my God.
So yeah, that's a little bit about the customer journey and just being equipped to handle what comes with the customer roadmap or the customer journey.
So I love the idea of that funnel. 100% with designers that I work with, they initially start with that landing page, right? You don't know about that landing page to bring the customers into the fold, and then they have to have something to give those customers, right? In the form of that checklist you mentioned, or in the form of some information about the brand, what's coming, and what have you. But one thing I have to say, you mentioned that it should be a very low price point. For the designers but okay, this is where we differ just a bit. For the designers that I work with, I am intent on them building a brand that is valuable enough to warrant the level of quality and price that they are asking for their product. So, and you know why that is important, especially for all of us, right? Is because when people in our community and others see a business, they automatically expect a good price. Right? What's a good price? What's a good price? There is a difference between having a good price and offering value and wanting, the exchange for that value. I think business owners have to keep that in mind. Although, and you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, and I deal with this all the time. It's so common, which is why I'm glad we're talking about it. It reminds me of the designer who is just coming into the fold and they really want to make a dress or sell a dress for $75. Well, do you know what it takes to sell a dress for $75 in the fashion industry for real? It's not possible for a small brand to do that well. It's gonna be, I mean, you could do it, but it's gonna look like something that's about to fall apart. So to deliver a quality garment, it requires a higher price. And only those with quality goods are gonna have longevity in the industry, right? So for everybody listening, just understand what your value is. If you're making thousands of if you're making thousands of pieces, you can offer a lower price, right? But starting out, typically, you've got to tighten up your pricing and don't be afraid to here, this is what I want to say. Don't be afraid to ask for the value that your brand warrants based on the value that you are putting out there and giving the customer, because we are always torn. We want everybody, we want our friends and our family and everybody that we know to be able to access, but sometimes they're not our customer. So how do you deal with that? What would you say to those who are concerned about that?
Well, first off, I think you just preached a whole entire word that we definitely want to ensure that we are charging our worth. And for certain markets, lower tier products may mean lower $1,000 or lower luxury, or in a way that way. I want to say it that way.
Yes.
But I do believe that this is the season of digital products. So for a designer, maybe your lower tier product is not a dress, or maybe it's not clothing. Maybe it's a workbook to help someone who is looking to become a designer. Maybe it's or to a style workbook. Because I was just saying to myself, as I was getting ready for this, because I have a video recording outside, and I'm like, I wish I could just have a personal shopper. Like, I wish I just had somebody who could just shop for me on a daily basis. So maybe someone who creates luxury designs, maybe that's a lower ticket monthly offering that they could have, right? So it doesn't always have to be where they're discounting their products or their worth. It could be something that allows, it could even be a membership community where you put people like Coach T in your membership community, and you give style tips for the day. And now I'm in your community, and I'm like, I need those style tips because what I'm supposed to wear outside at 90 degrees. You see where I'm going?
Right.
So now I got something to sell to the people who really want to support me, who really weren't going to wear my goods anyway. And I'm just going to create it based off of the thing that I want to be known for. So if I want to be known for comfort styling with confidence or fun fashions, I'm going to create something that's along those lines.
I love that. I love that because I think a lot of creatives, because it comes so naturally to them, they forget that that's valuable to others who don't think like they do. So having that membership community, that's a nice tip there. Thank you for sharing that.
Come on, but even and this could be a sidebar, but even as I look at you and how you showed up for today, it's the simple elegance, right? How to show up with simple elegance. I just paired these glasses with a simple white shirt with some simple earrings, pulled my hair to the side, and I showed up.
Listen, simplicity is good.
Come
Simplicity,
on.
but simple is relative though. So yes, you're right.
Yes, yes, yes.
I want to ask you, based on all that you've seen, and all that you've taught, how important is it in this day and time with the digital era just encroaching on every area of our lives, right? And social media being so important. How important is it for a new business owner to be the face of their brand? Can they just put the logo up there, or do you recommend them being the face of this thing that they're building?
That's such a great question. And I want to answer it tongue in cheek if I had to be honest, right?
Okay.
Because when you think of the Targets of the world, when you think of the Neiman Marcus of the world, the Nordstroms of the world, we know, even I want to say, did I say Target? Yeah, I said Target. When I think of luxury brands for affordable prices, I don't know, I'm just trying to throw that out there as an example. They very much so are their logos, but they very much so are what they want to be known for, right? They very much so are known for luxury goods or premium goods, quality goods, long lasting goods, for a certain type of person, right? So they've over the years they've done some work to personalize their brand to get what they want to be known for out there. So when companies or when small business owners are asking me, should I go faceless or should I show my face? I want to ask you, are you prepared to do what Neiman Marcus or the Targets of the world is doing in order for your brand to grow, right? Are you committed to this? I stand on my value, and that means that you're going to put a mission in place to be user-friendly content, meaning people are going to speak for your brand for you. You have a strategy behind how you're going to show your design work. You're going to put some behind the scenes into place to where it doesn't show your face, but maybe your hands. But going back to that other end of the spectrum, as I'm talking tongue in cheek, if you're not committed to what you want to be known for, people are going to need something to grab onto the hem of, right? They want to touch the hem of your garment. They want to connect with you ultimately. So it may mean that you have to put yourself out there just a bit in the beginning as you're building up what you want to be known for, so that way other people can do this thing for you. So ultimately, no, it's not required in today's world. In my opinion, there's ways that you can get around it. But if you can't figure that part out, then it will require an element of you as you are connecting the pieces with your audience.
It's so interesting. What you were saying just reminded me of a brand that, and I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was a Black-owned brand that blew up tremendously, but nobody knew that this Black man was the face behind the brand.
Mhm.
He did it strategically. He had tremendous success, and he still does. He did it on purpose because he felt that once he became the face of the brand, he would lose sales. Eventually, he did come out, and people started to know that he was the face of the brand, and
Mhm.
he lost a lot of followers, a lot of sales because of that.
Mhm.
But it started to pick up eventually because that brought on a whole other slew of people that loved what he was doing. It's
Exactly.
risky for some to, especially, I mean, I'm pretty real about what it is.
Mhm. 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 Mhm.
On this show and in life and with the clients
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
don't beat around the bush about the fact that being African American, being Black, being
Come
BIPOC
on.
is a challenge in many circles when you decide to
Mhm.
become an entrepreneur. But I like how you put it. You, you don't have to be the face of your brand. You could have that logo and just have the values and ideals that you stand on. But at some point, it's gonna come out, and you're gonna have to pay the price, the piper, for the fact that you're not what some people expect. But my question for those designers considering that, okay, you can start with a logo, but do you have the marketing budget
Mhm.
that is gonna be required to build that
Put your
brand
logo on everything.
doing it organically? The
Mhm.
benefit of building your brand organically is that you're the face of the brand, you build organically, people believe in your
Mhm.
vision, follow
Mhm.
your journey and keep going. But I think if you're gonna hide behind the logo because it's safer, and yes,
Mhm.
probably feels good because you don't have to be all out there on social media.
Mhm.
But I think you need marketing. You need
Mhm.
marketing dollars. And some businesses in the beginning, they don't have those dollars. That's why we do it scrappy.
Mhm.
That's why we show up and just we start where we are, do what we can do with what we have, right?
Yes.
So something to consider.
Yes. 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 That's good right there.
All right. So let's segue a bit.
Mhm.
Went deep on a couple of things. What has been the best business advice you have received or that you would give to a startup?
Just
Like,
do it.
just do it.
And I
I-
said that quick because
Mhm.
it's gonna change anyway. I feel like yelling it 5 different times. It's going to change
Okay.
anyway as you grow, as you become to understand your business a little bit more, as you develop. It's going to change anyway. And that's one thing that I can tell you that has proven to be true across every financial level, across every growth level in my business, is that it's going to change anyway. So the faster that you can wrap your mind around, let me just do it.
Yeah.
Done is better than perfect.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that with designs. I'm not saying that necessarily with, you're gonna still put your work into your design. I'm talking about from a marketing standpoint, from an
Mhm.
operational standpoint, done is better than perfect. Okay. But if I had to just piggyback that with one more thing, it would be that you're not for everybody. You're going to hear some no's. Some people are going to say that's not for them. But I want you to commit to not taking feedback or constructive criticism from people who are not in your target audience. They're going to tell you your price is too high. They're going
Right.
to tell you you need to do something different with the design. But if you can sincerely ask yourself if this person is armed and ready to buy, and if it says no, then I would take their feedback with a grain of salt, okay? And just keep on doing what you do best.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, how do you yourself stay motivated? You've been on this journey, you say, for 20 years. How do you stay motivated and inspired to keep creating, keep moving forward, keep getting going over each new hurdle? How do you do it?
I don't think I ever stay motivated, but I stay disciplined. That's a
Mm.
word for me today.
Woo!
That's a word for me today.
Whoa.
Because
Oh,
I
that's
never always want to do it. I
right.
never always want to do it. But when you're committed and disciplined to something,
Right.
you're gonna do it. So for me, I've mastered the art of being disciplined, the art of being consistent. So when I feel like I'm not consistent, that motivates me. But because sometimes or most times I don't always want to do it. Every time I go live, I go live on Instagram. It used to be every day, Monday through Friday. 2024 is kind of tanked off a little. I still get nervous every time I go live. I still don't want to do it, but it's the art of being disciplined enough to see it through.
Oh my goodness. I tried to go live on a regular basis and it wasn't high
Mhm.
enough on my priority list somehow. It just kind of fell off, but I wish I had done it more. I commend you for that. That's
Mhm.
fantastic.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you. Yeah.
Wonderful. And what are you currently working on? Is there something new coming that new that you're creating in the future?
I think that's a tricky question. So it's three things. Two of the things I can share, but one of the things is a work in progress,
Okay.
or will be revealed later this year. For the summer months, for June, July, and August, I've launched a social media management campaign. Over the past 5 years, I probably managed. One year, I was managing 100 pages all at one time.
Oh my.
Last year, I managed 20 pages at Christmas time. One of those people went on and I helped him to make 260K during that 90 days.
Ooh.
So I decided to bring that back for the summer months. So June, July, and August, I have a campaign. We're outside, meaning as business owners, you can go outside and I am going to manage your brand, your campaign
Wow.
while you're outside. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
I still have a few slots available for that. So social media management at a really affordable price. And then, secondly, something else that you're going to see is more of a university concept, where now I will be introducing my students to resources like yourself in an effort to help them to grow their brand faster. So I'm positioning it into a marketplace, which is kind of similar to what I wanted to do 6 years ago, but I'm
Okay.
finally bringing it into life where I'm actually going to help people to grow faster utilizing my network versus
Wow.
all of
Ooh,
my coaching. So yeah, I'm excited about that as well.
that is fantastic. I
Mhm.
might have to reciprocate on that.
Yes, 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 yes. Now you'll
I was
definitely be a resource as well.
Yeah, I was
Mhm.
thinking about doing something like that before too, but listen, when I get to that, yes, you're going to be on that list.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay.
So, what was the last book you read, and how did it help you to elevate your entrepreneurial journey? If you care to share.
I do care. I do care to share. Um, and I'm just trying to honestly think about the last book. And I want to say it was The Circle. The Circle. And are you familiar with it? Or
I've heard of it, but I haven't read it.
okay, so it is a prayer book. So it's
Mm,
actually supposed to bring you closer, or it helps to bring you closer to your journey with communicating and talking with God.
ooh,
I
okay.
absolutely love the book because going back to how do I stay motivated, you're never going to want to do this. So you're going to need coping strategies because as an entrepreneur, let alone a full-time entrepreneur, there's no one there to give you the blessed reassurance that you're needing.
Right.
So we have to come with strategies that will help to keep our own cups full. So for me, having that woosah moment, that moment where I can gather my strength, whether it's alone or whether I'm praying or communicating with somebody else, those types of things help me to keep my head in the game, right? But if I
Mm-hmm.
had to give a business book, a business resource, this is a book I read once every year. I pull it out and I literally will turn to chapters. The 4 Hour Work Week. It
Oh,
helps it helps me to manage my time. It helps me to
okay.
figure out what I should do next or when to do what I'm going to do next. And how
Mm,
I effectively read books is I never read a book in its entirety from front to end. I'm going to take chapters from that book and I'm going to utilize the chapters that I need in this season in
yeah,
order to see the results that I need. Because if you see the 4 Hour Work Week, it's a pretty thick book. So
yeah.
that's just one of my hacks for getting more out of the resources that's in front of me. Mhm.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Okay, so now what is the best way for people to connect with you as we begin to get close to wrapping up? I'm enjoying this conversation so much. Are we at the end already?
Yes,
Okay,
that's
so how
crazy.
can people connect with you?
So I want to say, I want you to follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Mogul, Mogul_Maker, Mogul_Maker. And I just want you to hit that follow button and slide into my DM with the word design. Let's call it design.
Okay.
Because I would like to offer the people in your audience a discovery call. And on that discovery call, I can help you to understand what it is that you want to be known for, maybe some creative marketing strategies, and some ways that you can begin to produce a little bit more profit right where you are. So, no sales pitch attached, just as a thank you for you having me on today. So, just message me the word design on Instagram.
Okay, design. Okay, fantastic. So is there anything that we did not talk about that you would like to share beyond that? Did we get to everything, or is there something else you want to tell the audience?
No, you've been such a phenomenal host. I can't think.
Like,
I'm with you. The conversation. I love it here. No, I don't think I have anything.
so that will bring me to my last question for you.
Mhm.
When you come to the very end of your days and you have lived and you have loved and you have shared all that you hope you could with the world, what will your legacy be? What do you hope to leave behind?
That's how we ended on today. Okay. Okay. I would love to leave behind my footprints in the sand. And what I mean is by the souls and the people that I've touched. One of my key commitments is that if I just impact one person a day, if I help one person today, then I have truly done what God has created me to do. And I stand by that. So even if today didn't go as planned, as long as I know that I truly gave my all and I helped that one person, I'm good. So at the end of the day, I just want people to, or the thing that I remembered most by is my integrity, my character, and the footprints that I left in the sand.
Beautiful, beautiful. I can tell that you are a person that comes to the table with a true desire to help new businesses to get insight into this new world that we're all living in this digital world, right? And to get their businesses to a place where they're going to make, hello, we didn't even mention, they call you the Mogul-Maker, right?
Yes.
Grow these businesses and make something significant for themselves and their families. So I commend you for that. I want to thank you once again for giving all that good information and sharing your insights with the audience. And yes, I can't wait to connect with you again in the future. Okay, because this can't be done. This conversation was too good. So thank
Yes. Yes.
you.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be a part of your community now. I consider us family. So thank you so much for having me.
You have a big, juicy vision for your business, and not everybody around you gets it or even cares, right? But that's okay, because that vision was given to you, not to them. I know at times in the past it has felt like you were on an island by yourself, and you're not alone, but it doesn't have to stay that way. I have opened the doors to our emerging designer community. Go to cmdesignagency.mn.co so you can connect and vibe with like-minded individuals who are also on a mission to grow and scale their fashion brand. I'll see you on the inside. Thank you for tuning in to the Life by Design show. We welcome your feedback, so if you enjoyed today's episode, please like, subscribe, leave a review, or share it with your friends. And if there's someone you think I should consider bringing in for a combo, send me a DM on social. Thank you again, and I'll see you on the other side.